I'm Josh Evans, and I love to help businesses build the right culture within their organizations so they can be more profitable. Do you want more engaged employees? Do you want your company to be more productive? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to share with you the tools that I've used with hundreds of companies varying in size from 60,000 person conglomerates down to 5-person teams. So get ready and join me so we can build the right culture for your business.
Hi, I'm Josh Evans, and welcome back to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you here, and thank you for joining me. You know, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I was having a neat conversation with a friend of mine. Maybe want to do this episode. So, apparently, the average American has 9 close friends. That's the average, right? So some people have less, some people have more. That doesn't include relatives. But the average person has 9 close friends. Which is, it's interesting, right? Because I've talked about this before, and I'm sure you've heard this statistic too, that your income is within 10% of the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Isn't that interesting? Your income is within a 10% range of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So, either now you're thinking to yourself, I gotta start hanging out with people that are, doing better than I am, or maybe you're thinking like, I have no idea how I'm hanging out with my friends and doing so well. I don't know. But it's an interesting statistic. And what I'm suggesting to people right now, and it's going to sound crazy, but what I think is that for you to make progress, you have to burn the right bridges. Stay with me for a moment. To make progress in your life, you need to burn the right bridges. Now, we've all been taught that burning bridges is a terrible idea. Don't burn bridges. You might need to cross back over. Hold on a second. I think some bridges deserve to be burned. I do. Let me tell you, I'll give you an example. I have a good friend of mine, or used to be a good friend of mine. And, we'd hang out together, we'd go get drinks together, but to be honest with you, he was always really negative. Now, I don't mind listening to somebody vent their problems. I don't mind offering advice if they want it. I will be a shoulder to cry on if I need to be. That's not a problem. But when it becomes habitual, when they continually just want to drag you down and they are not adding to the relationship that I'm trying to build with this individual, right? If it's not enjoyable, if they don't offer to listen instead of just sharing, then why should they be in my life? They're not adding value to what I'm trying to accomplish. They're not helping me. I'm not enjoying my time with them. That is not somebody I should maintain a relationship with. I mean, so I didn't walk up to him and be like, hey man, you didn't make the cut this year. Maybe next year we can get you back on my list of friends. That's not how I did it. And it wasn't super systematic or conscious, but I stopped hanging out with him. We don't hang out anymore because this guy is just so negative all the time. That was a bridge that I needed to burn so that I could move on. I mean, heck, if I'm only allowed 9 close friends, why would I want to fill one of those spots with somebody that's not ambitious and is super pessimistic? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying go out and just burn a bunch of bridges to go forge new ones with people that make a lot of money. That's not what I'm saying at all. You need to be selective, right? But to make progress in your life, you need to burn the right bridges. I'll give you another example. So I used to work for this software company years and years and years ago. And I had a list of about 15, 20 clients that I continually called on and worked with that were existing clients. They'd already bought stuff from us, and it was about maintaining the account and helping them buy additional stuff if they wanted it. One single one of those clients was the most difficult person I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. Ever. I won't say his name because I don't want to call him out. I won't say the company name either, but it's a big company. All right? And I would work with this guy, and I would try my best to serve him, but he did not want to be helped. I would spend probably 30% of my time dealing with this one client, and the 19 other clients that I had to deal with had to split up the 70% of the time. So he was taking the majority of my time, the majority of my effort, and my mental capacity and emotional stability. Right, he was taking up the lion's share compared to everybody else. I was spending almost a third of my week dealing with him and his problems, and it wasn't real problems. He just wanted to be that way. He just wanted to be negative. He just wanted to be mean. He just wanted to steal my time. And the amount of money and revenue that they generated for our company was not close to comparable to the amount of time that it took for me to deal with them. It was taken away from me serving everybody else that I was working with. So you know what I did? I fired him as a client. That one I did do in person. I met with him and I go, hey, oh, I almost said his name. That's good. No, I went up to him and I was like, hey, Mr. Customer Man, we've been working together for over a year now. You're still causing problems. You're still upset all the time. I'm only trying to help you. I'm just trying to fix things. I'm trying to make sure everything's working correctly. But you don't seem to want help. You just want to complain. It's taking a lot of time away from all of our other customers. And I'm sorry, I'm no longer going to be managing your account. I'm no longer going to be handling your phone calls. If you need help, you call our normal support line. And if you need to buy something, you can call the other salesperson here. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. That's it. He was so insulted. I'm going to be honest. He was a big guy. He's bigger than me. And he was so angry and so insulted. How dare you? We're one of your customers. How dare you say that I'm difficult? I was like, well, you are. And I don't have to deal with you anymore. It's more important for me to serve everybody else well that enjoys talking with me and working with me than to spend my time trying to calm you down every time we talk. So it's just not going to work. This isn't a good business relationship. He kicked me out of his office, but that's fine. I didn't plan on going back there, and I didn't ever. I handed him off to another salesperson. It became their headache, and I almost feel bad because the guy was such a pain, right? And to be honest with you, here's the crazy thing. Like, let me tell you just how insane the relationship this guy had. I would take him to lunch to discuss like what's going on in this organization, and the guy would order 2 entrees. And he would take one home because he knew I was picking up the check. Like, I'm not calling him cheap, but he's just using me at that point. So I burned that bridge. I set that thing on fire, man. Just threw the match, walked away. And you know what? I didn't lose money for the company. I actually made more money because now I could focus my time on the people that deserved it. All the clients that I had been neglecting because this guy was stealing my time and my attention now got more of me. They get more time so I could go and hang out with them and learn more about their organizations. You see, to progress, right? To make progress, you have to burn the right bridges. You have to. This whole adage of, oh, don't burn bridges. No. You have to burn the occasional bridge. If you don't burn a bridge ever in your life, you're gonna end up in a very shitty situation. You have to burn the right bridges. You just do. If it means cutting friends out of your life that have been there for a while, it might need to happen. If it means firing the occasional client, that might need to happen too. But if they're not helping you, if they don't want to be there, there's no reason to force the situation. You don't force the relationship. So let me tell you how, right? I'm sure you think, how do you know what bridges to burn? Do I just like randomly pick a couple and be like, all right, I'm just going to cut out these 3 or 4 friends? No. That's not how you do it. So you need to know how to do it. And so first off, ask yourself this question. Does this person add value to my life? And I don't mean are they valuable? Do they give me money? I mean, do they provide insight in your life? Do they provide emotional support? Could you go out with a beer with them and hang out and discuss a problem you're dealing with, and will they give you insight? Will they actually listen? Right? That's the kind of value I'm talking about. Do they bring value to the table? What do they bring to the table in that relationship? And I'm not trying to monetize every single relationship. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, do they value being friends with you? And do you value them being in your life? Do they provide value to it? Now, as I said before, I had that friend. We'd get together, we'd hang out, and he didn't want to listen. He wouldn't bring any value to the relationship. It was all one-sided. I'd reach out and say, hey, let's go get a drink or something, and we'll go talk and hang out. And he'd just want to vent about how crappy his job, which is fine. I'm fine to listen to that. But anytime I would bring up my situation, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm dealing with this thing right now. I don't know how to handle it. He goes, oh, that sucks. Hey, let me tell you about this thing at my work. And he'd go straight back to what he wanted to talk about. That's not adding value. That's not even a relationship. I was his therapist. That kind of situation doesn't work. So ask yourself, are they adding value to your life? The second thing you should ask yourself on whether or not to burn this bridge is this person's goals aligned with my goals? And I don't mean we have to have the exact same goal. We want to own a house in this neighborhood, or we both want to own an island in the Caribbean. No. I don't mean those kind of goals. But I mean, are your goals paralleled? If you're ambitious, you should really try to hang out with other people that are ambitious. If you're fine being lazy and sitting on the couch, guess what? Your friends should probably be similar to that. Because if you're lazy and want to sit on the couch, it's going to be hard to maintain a friendship with somebody that loves to go hiking all the time. Let me give you an example. I have another friend. We were really good friends together for a very long time. And after being in business for quite a few years, he decided he didn't really want to work that hard, which is fine. That's a choice he makes, okay? And so he works as little as possible. He has a minimum wage job somewhere in another state, and he's fine with that. But I'm not okay putting in the bare minimum. I'm not okay scraping by. That's not who I am. I'm way more ambitious than that. And you know what? We're not aligned with our goals in life, and that's okay. Doesn't mean I won't chat with him or hang out with him whenever he's in town, but I can't be close friends with somebody like that. And so while I didn't, drench that bridge in kerosene and light it on fire, I absolutely am not maintaining that relationship because we're not aligned. We're not parallel. And you have to make sure the relationships that you're maintaining, that you're putting work and effort and emotion into, are ones that are fruitful for both of you, not one-sided. The next thing you have to make sure, if this is a great reason to burn a bridge, if the person that you are thinking about, if they are not authentic, every relationship that is authentic has a great chance of continuing, whether it's a business relationship or a personal relationship, a romantic relationship. You have to be real. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to, open up the kimono, as an old boss of mine used to say. You have to be willing to reveal yourself, to be vulnerable to somebody else, and they have to do the same to you. It's about that reciprocation. If they're not willing to do that, then why maintain the relationship? Burn that bridge. You can't let people be just on the surface, right? Don't let somebody that's superficial into your close circle of friends, because they're never really committed to being your friend. They're there, but it's just on the surface. That's not worth it. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm sure. What I'm saying is you have to burn the right bridges. Be selective, but you have to burn the right bridges. You do. If you want to make progress, you have to do that. So I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, hold on, Josh. I'm not going to go and get rid of a bunch of my friends. I'm not going to go, approach them and be like, hey, you know what? You suck, man. I got to find a better friend. No, look, don't do that. Nobody should ever do that. That's ridiculous. But what I'm saying is you need to be more selective about who you choose to spend your time with. All right. Another question you might be asking, okay, Josh, what if this person who's negative, that's in my circle of influence, right, that I'm having to deal with on a day-to-day basis, is a coworker? I can't really burn that bridge. Okay, you're right. You can't. It's hard, especially if you're in a job that you like or in a job that you have to deal with somebody that you dislike all the time. You can't just go and burn a bridge with a coworker and just like, no, we don't talk anymore. Sorry, you're in the cubicle next to me. I know that that's not reasonable attitude. I get it. But you can minimize the amount of time you spend with that person. No, Josh, I'm in the cube next to them. Well, don't talk to them. Ignore them. It's easy. I watch people ignore each other in cubes all the time when I work with my clients. I walk through their offices and everybody at every single cube is ignoring the person next to them. It's easy to ignore somebody, but they keep trying to talk to me. Tell them you're busy on something. Find another project to work on. Ask your boss for a transfer to another group or to have them transfer to another group. I don't know. You get to decide. But don't sit there and work on or discuss or have a relationship with somebody who you shouldn't be in a relationship with, business or otherwise. Burn the bridge. I'm not going to say if you burn the bridge, it'll be really awkward if you have to sit next to them every day, but you need to burn the right bridges. If you want to progress, you have to burn the right bridges in your life. And it sounds crazy because it's so counterintuitive to everything we've been taught, which is don't burn bridges. No, burn the right bridges. Right? So once again, if somebody's not adding value to your life, burn that bridge. If somebody doesn't have goals that are even closely aligned to what you're trying to accomplish in your life, if there's a huge gap, burn that bridge. And if somebody's not authentic with you, if they're not real, if they're not willing to put themselves out there and have real conversations with you, burn that bridge too. That's all I have to say about that. So, recently I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and they've been working for this company for several years, and they told me that the worst part about their job is their boss. He swoops in his words, shits all over everything. But what he means is his boss swoops in, makes comments and snide remarks, and just degrades his team, and then wanders back off to his office and shuts the door. My friend goes, it's so horrible. I mean, I want to distance myself from him, but I can't because I report to him. What can I do? And that's a hard situation. It's totally a hard situation. I've worked for bosses that I didn't enjoy. I think everybody's had at least one boss they wish they could have distanced themselves from. But here's the thing, and this is what I told my buddy. I was like, look, John, you can do something. He's like, oh yeah, I can do something. I said, no, you can do something. You can quit and go find another job. You can ask to be moved to another department or report to somebody else. Or you can go have a conversation with your boss and tell him how it makes you feel. Now, that's going to be harder. But if you're having such a terrible time working for him, you should probably find a way to burn that bridge. And you can't burn that bridge while you report to him. It's impossible. So you either leave or find somewhere else in that organization to be. Or if you're really crazy, get that boss fired and replace him with somebody you like. If you have the power to do that. Now, what I want you to realize is that I'm not saying go burn every single bridge. What I'm saying is for you to progress, right, in your life, you need to burn the right bridges. You know, a wise man once said, you'll be the same person you are next year except for the books that you read and the people that you meet. And you only have a limited amount of space in your circle of friends who have that influence in your life. So make sure it's the right people. Make sure that it's the people that support you and that value you and that can provide input and insight in your life. To make progress in your life, you have to burn the right bridges. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. I'm just so happy that you got here. If you have a question, if you want to send something into me, feel free to reach out. It's info@joshuaemevans.com or hit me up on social media @enthusiasticyou. Y-O-U. Well, can't wait to see y'all next week. Have a great day.